Do any of you like snow? How about driving in snow? Do you like it when the roads are snowy and covered up? If you do, and you don't know what you're doing, sometimes you'll end up like handout number 1. And if you end up like handout number 1, you might end up like handout number 2. A snowy wreck, which is not what we want. My name is Louis Bodie, and I'm the Assistant Director of Transportation for the Hannibal Public Schools, and I've been with them for 19 years now, and I've driven in all kinds of weather conditions, in a school bus and in other vehicles. I want to talk to you today about driving in safe weather, or in snowy weather, for safe conditions so you can safely arrive at your destination. I want to talk to you about 3 things today. I want to talk to you about the conditions and what you need to do about it. I want to talk to you about your visibility, and I want to talk to you about your braking. The first thing I want to talk to you about, as I said earlier, is about driving conditions. The first thing you need to do in snowy weather is slow down. According to the Missouri Department of Transportation, that is the number 1 thing you can do to avoid accidents. You need to slow down for the weather conditions. I was talking to Laura Hill, our Transportation Training Director, and she said the second most important thing you can do is you need to give yourself extra space from the vehicles around you. You need to back off from those in front of you, so if you do have to slow down or stop, you have a safe distance to do so. Another thing you want to do is you want to stay on the main roads. You want to avoid side roads if at all possible. The street departments and the road crews will be out, and they will clean the main roads first, and will get to the secondary roads eventually, but they will not be as safe. The next thing I want to talk to you about is your visibility. According to the Ontario Ministry of Transportation, and they get a lot more snow than we do, the number 1 thing you need to do to make yourself visible and to help you see is to run with your headlights on. If the snow is blowing and stuff, you need to be out where you can run in with your low beams. The high beams will reflect the snow back and hinder your visibility, so run with low beams. And your taillights will alert you to people behind you. The second thing you need to watch out for is blowing snow. If you're out in conditions where snow is blowing, it may blow across the roadway and cover the lines so you cannot tell where the roadway is, and may even hinder the edge of the road. I've personally seen this on trips coming back at night where you couldn't hardly see where the road was and you really had to slow down to be safe. The third thing I want to talk about for visibility is wipers. If you look at handout number 3, your wipers are very important to you to be able to see in snowy roads. If they start building up like this, eventually it's going to get to the point where you will not they will not wipe your windshield correctly and cleanly. If this happens, you need to pull off to the side of the road, bang the wipers against the windshield to get the snow off of them. Then lift them up and drag all the excess snow out of the way so you'll be able to see. Finally, I want to talk to you about braking. Braking is very important, but you cannot brake like you normally would under normal conditions. On snowy conditions, you've allowed yourself the extra space, but you will need all of that space to safely stop your vehicle. When you go to apply your brakes, you need to gently apply your brakes, because if you apply them as normal conditions, you will lose traction and you will lose control of your vehicle. If you're looking ahead and you're driving, you need to, with that extra distance, you still need to even look farther. You need to look ahead 3 or 4 vehicles in front of you and watch for brake lights. As soon as you see them, you need to be prepared to start slowing down. When you do step on your brake, you need to use a light touch on your pedal. You always want to keep your tires turning, because that is how you control your car. As long as your wheels are turning, they have traction, and they will help you guide you where you need to go. If you step on your brake too hard, you lose that traction, you will lose control. Those are the 3 things that I've talked about today. I've talked about driving cautiously and for the conditions you're in. I've talked about your visibility, and I have talked about using your brakes correctly. those are three important things. There are many others out there that could be talked about, but for this short presentation, those are the things I have said. One thing I want you to remember as we all go out for these wintry, snowy conditions, as they used to say on the NBC show, Hill Street Blues. Let's all be careful out there. Thank you.
Where do you stop it at?
Just press the capture button, I think.